Every morning, before the world speaks to you, you must speak to yourself, not with comfort, with truth. Because the mind you wake up with decides the life you walk into. No one is coming to save you, and the sooner you accept this, the stronger your mind becomes. Waiting for rescue keeps the soul weak. It trains you to look outward instead of inward, to blame circumstances instead of mastering yourself. Every morning you wake up, life has already placed the weight on your shoulders. It does not ask if you are ready. It only asks what you will do with what you are given. If you expect help, you delay action. If you expect comfort, you avoid effort. Strength begins the moment you stop expecting the world to be kind to you. People may promise support, guidance, or loyalty. But when pressure arrives, everyone returns to protecting their own interests. This is not betrayal, it is nature. Understanding this removes bitterness. You stop being angry at others for failing you and start becoming reliable to yourself. When you depend on your own discipline, your own thinking, and your own effort, you are no longer shaken by absence or silence. Independence of mind creates calm. The mind that waits for saving becomes soft. It looks for shortcuts. It hopes problems will disappear on their own. But problems grow when ignored. They only shrink when faced directly. Each challenge you avoid today becomes heavier tomorrow. Each responsibility you reject returns with interest. When you accept that no external force will lift this burden for you, you begin lifting it yourself, piece by piece, without drama, without complaint. There is power in knowing that struggle is not an exception but a rule. Pain does not mean something has gone wrong. Difficulty does not mean you are unlucky. It means you are alive and being tested. Those tests are not meant to destroy you, but to reveal what you are made of. If someone saved you every time you felt pressure, you would never discover your own capacity. Growth requires friction. When you stop expecting rescue, excuses lose their grip. You stop saying you would succeed if conditions were better, if people supported you more, if the past had been different. You understand that the present moment is all you ever control. Your response is the only thing that belongs to you. This realization is not heavy, it is freeing. It removes false hope and replaces it with clear direction. Self-respect grows when you face life without leaning on illusions. You learn to sit with discomfort without running from it. You learn to solve problems without complaining about them. Each time you do this, confidence builds quietly. Not the loud kind that seeks attention, but the steady kind that does not need approval. You trust yourself because you have proven you can endure. There will be moments when you feel tired, overwhelmed, or lost. In those moments, the mind may search for someone to step in and take control. But strength is built by standing still in that discomfort and choosing action anyway. Small actions matter. Getting up when you want to stay down. Continuing when quitting feels easier. These choices form character. A life respects those who respect themselves enough to take responsibility. It does not reward wishful thinking. It responds to consistency, effort, and resilience. When you understand that no one is coming, you stop waiting for the right moment. You realize the moment is now. The work is yours. The burden is yours. The progress is yours. The outcome is shaped by what you do next, by how you carry yourself when no one is watching, by how you stand firm even when support is absent, by how you choose discipline over comfort, effort over excuses, clarity over hope, action over waiting. Control your mind, not the world. This truth brings calm to a life filled with noise, chaos, and endless demands. The world is unstable by nature. People change, plans collapse, and outcomes rarely follow expectations. Trying to control all of this drains the mind and leaves it restless. Every morning, you must remind yourself that peace does not come from shaping events, but from shaping your response to them. Most suffering is created by resistance to reality. You want things to happen faster, people to act differently, outcomes to favor you. When this does not happen, frustration rises. Anger follows. Anxiety takes hold. But the world has never promised fairness or ease. It moves according to forces far beyond your reach. Accepting this does not mean giving up. It means choosing your battles wisely. Your thoughts are the only place where true control exists. You decide what meaning to attach to events. You decide whether an insult becomes fuel for anger or training for patience. You decide whether failure becomes a reason to quit or a lesson to sharpen your approach. The event itself is neutral. The judgment you place on it creates either suffering or strength. Each morning, before external voices enter your head, ground yourself in this understanding. You cannot control traffic, markets, weather, or the opinions of others. You cannot force respect, loyalty, or understanding, but you can control how you prepare, how you focus, and how you act. This is where your power lies. Anything outside this circle is distraction. When the mind chases control over people, it becomes fragile. One harsh word can ruin your mood. One delay can destroy your focus. One rejection can steal your confidence. But when the mind is trained to govern itself, nothing external can shake it easily. You move through difficulty with steadiness, not because life is easy, but because you are prepared. Training the mind is daily work. It begins with awareness. Notice when your thoughts drift toward blame, worry, or resentment. These are signs you are trying to control what cannot be controlled. Bring the focus back inward. Ask what action is possible now. Ask what attitude serves you best. This redirection builds mental discipline. Silence is a powerful teacher in this process. In quiet moments, you see how restless the mind can be. It jumps to future fears and past mistakes. Learning to observe these thoughts without obeying them creates distance. That distance creates freedom. You are no longer dragged by every impulse or reaction. Control of the mind does not mean suppressing emotion. It means understanding emotion without letting it rule behavior. Anger may arise, but you choose restraint. Fear may appear, but you choose courage. Sadness may visit, but you choose endurance. Emotions become information, not commands. Over time, this practice changes how you experience life. Challenges become tasks instead of threats. Setbacks become adjustments instead of defeats. You stop wasting energy on complaint and start investing it in effort. Others may panic, argue, or collapse under pressure. You remain composed, not because you feel nothing, but because you have trained yourself to respond wisely. The world will continue to be unpredictable. People will continue to disappoint. Outcomes will continue to surprise you. But none of this needs to disturb your inner balance. Each morning is another chance to reinforce this truth. The mind you control becomes your shelter. The discipline you build becomes your armor. The calm you maintain becomes your advantage. When the world demands reaction, you offer intention. When chaos surrounds you, you choose order within. This is how strength is preserved, how clarity is protected, how progress is made even in uncertain conditions, by mastering the one domain that truly belongs to you, and refusing to surrender it to noise, pressure, or external demands. Feelings are signals, not orders. This truth must be remembered early in the day, before emotions begin to pull the mind in different directions. Our feelings rise on their own. They appear without permission and often without reason. If you obey them blindly, your life becomes unstable. One good mood makes you productive. One bad mood makes you quit. Strength begins when you stop letting feelings decide your actions. The body reacts first. Tension, fear, excitement, anger. These reactions are natural. They are part of being human. But reaction is not the same as decision. A feeling is simply information about your internal state, not a command that must be followed. When hunger appears, it signals a need. When fear appears, it signals caution. But if every signal becomes an order, discipline disappears. Most regret comes from actions taken under emotion, words spoken in anger, promises made in excitement, avoidance chosen in fear. In the moment, these actions feel justified. Later, they feel heavy. Learning to pause between feeling and action protects your character. That pause is where reason lives. Every morning, remind yourself that discomfort does not mean danger. Boredom does not mean stop. Tiredness does not mean weakness. The mind often uses feelings as excuses. It says you should rest when effort is required. It says you should react when silence would be wiser. It says you should escape when endurance would build strength. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward control. Training yourself to act against unhelpful feelings is difficult, but it is necessary. When you feel resistance and still begin the task, you weaken the power of that resistance. When you feel anger and choose calm, you strengthen your restraint. Each time you act according to reason instead of emotion, the mind learns a new habit. This does not mean ignoring feelings completely. Signals should be observed, not suppressed. If sadness appears, acknowledge it. If fear arises, study it. Ask what it is pointing to, but do not let it take the steering wheel. The goal is understanding, not obedience. Consistency is built this way. You show up whether you feel inspired or not. You keep your word whether it feels easy or uncomfortable. You train, work, and reflect even when the mood is low. Over time, feelings begin to follow discipline instead of leading it. Confidence grows not from motivation, but from proof that you can act without it. The world rewards those who are steady. People who change direction with every feeling appear unreliable. Their energy is unpredictable. But the person who moves forward regardless of emotional weather becomes dependable. Others begin to trust them. More importantly, they trust themselves. Morning is the best time to set this rule. Before the noise of the day enters, decide that your actions will be guided by values, not moods. Decide that reason will lead and emotion will follow. When challenges arrive later, the decision has already been made. Over time, this mindset creates freedom. You are no longer trapped by how you feel in the moment. A bad day does not destroy your progress. A strong emotion does not hijack your behavior. You experience feelings fully, but you do not become them. This separation creates inner stability. Life will continue to bring pressure, loss, excitement, and uncertainty. Emotions will continue to rise and fall. That will never change. What can change is your relationship with them. Instead of being pushed around, you stand firm. Instead of reacting, you respond. Instead of being controlled, you govern yourself. This is quiet strength. This is emotional mastery. This is how discipline survives in chaos, how dignity is preserved under pressure, how progress continues, even when the heart feels heavy, how you remain aligned with your principles, regardless of inner storms, are choosing action rooted in reason, restraint, and self-respect, rather than momentary feelings that pass as quickly as they arrive. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Our motivation is unstable. It rises when things feel exciting and disappears when effort becomes uncomfortable. But if your progress depends on motivation, your results will always be inconsistent. Discipline does not care how you feel. It moves you forward, whether the mind is inspired or resistant. This is why discipline builds lasting strength, while motivation only creates short bursts of action. Every morning, the mind looks for a reason to delay. It searches for comfort, distraction, and ease. Motivation may not appear, and waiting for it wastes time. Discipline steps in and acts anyway. It does not argue. It does not negotiate. It simply begins. The power of discipline is that it removes decision-making. When the choice is already made, excuses lose their power. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. One depends on mood, the other on habit. When habits are built, action becomes automatic. You do not wake up asking whether you should do the work. You wake up knowing it must be done. This certainty creates momentum. Small actions, repeated daily, compound into visible strength. The mind often lies about readiness. It says you need to feel confident before starting. It says you need energy before effort. In truth, confidence is built through action, not before it. Energy follows movement. Discipline understands this. It uses action to create motivation, not the other way around. Discipline also protects you during difficult periods. When life becomes heavy, motivation disappears completely. Loss, stress, and uncertainty drain emotional drive. Without discipline, progress stops. With discipline, you continue moving, even if slowly. That slow movement prevents collapse. It keeps structure in chaos. Building discipline requires repetition. The first days feel forced. The mind resists. But each time you follow through, resistance weakens. The brain learns that action will happen regardless of protest. Over time, effort feels lighter. What once required willpower becomes routine. Discipline is also an act of self-respect. When you keep promises to yourself, trust is built internally. You stop doubting your ability to follow through. This trust becomes quiet confidence. You no longer need external validation because you know your own reliability. Comfort is the enemy of discipline. The mind prefers ease and familiarity. Discipline asks you to choose what is beneficial over what is pleasant. This choice must be made daily. Not once. Not when it feels convenient, but especially when it feels uncomfortable. Each time you choose effort, you reinforce control over yourself. Discipline simplifies life. Fewer decisions, less inner debate, less wasted energy. You follow a schedule, you follow principles. This creates mental clarity. While others struggle with inconsistency, you move steadily forward. There will be days when motivation is high. Our discipline uses those days well. There will be days when motivation is absent. Discipline carries you through them. This reliability is what produces results over time. Not intensity, not excitement, consistency. Morning is the foundation of discipline. How you begin sets the tone for the day. When you act with structure early, you carry that order forward. One disciplined action leads to another. The day becomes aligned. Discipline does not make life easy. It makes it manageable. It does not remove pain. It teaches endurance. It does not promise pleasure. It promises progress. When you commit to discipline, you stop relying on feelings and start relying on principles. You become someone who moves forward regardless of internal resistance. Someone who chooses long-term strength over short-term comfort. Someone who understands that true freedom comes from self-control. Not indulgence from structure, not impulse. From doing what must be done even when nothing inside you feels ready. Discomfort is the price of strength. Every meaningful gain in life demands it. The body resists strain, and the mind avoids unease, but growth lives on the other side of both. If you seek comfort above all else, weakness slowly takes root. Strength is not built in ease. It is shaped in pressure, repetition, and challenge. Most people misunderstand discomfort. They see it as a warning sign, something to escape. But discomfort is often a signal that progress is happening. Muscles ache when they are adapting. The mind feels strained when it is learning to hold more weight. Avoiding this feeling keeps you the same. Accepting it changes you. Each morning, remind yourself that comfort is not the goal. Comfort is temporary and fragile. It disappears the moment life becomes difficult. Strength stays. Strength allows you to stand when comfort fails. Choosing discomfort early prepares you for unavoidable hardship later. The mind will try to negotiate. It will suggest waiting, postponing, or choosing the easier path. These choices feel harmless in the moment. Over time, they create regret. Every avoided challenge becomes a silent weakness. Every embraced challenge becomes quiet confidence. Discomfort trains focus. When something is difficult, distractions fall away. You are forced into the present moment. This presence sharpens awareness and builds mental endurance. You learn that you can survive effort, boredom, and pain without breaking. There is also honesty in discomfort. It removes illusion. It shows you where you lack skill, patience, or discipline. Instead of hiding these flaws, discomfort exposes them so they can be strengthened. Without this exposure, growth remains shallow. Many fear discomfort because it feels like loss of control. But the opposite is true. Voluntarily choosing discomfort gives you control over yourself. You decide when to push, when to endure, when to continue. This choice builds self-mastery. Discomfort also builds resilience. When hardship arrives unexpectedly, it does not shock you. You have trained in difficulty. You recognize the feeling and know how to move through it. What overwhelms others becomes familiar territory. There is a difference between pain that harms and pain that strengthens. Learning to tell the difference is part of wisdom. Strengthening discomfort challenges you, but does not destroy you. It demands effort, not recklessness. It asks for consistency, not extremes. Small daily discomforts matter. Waking up earlier than you want. Doing the task you avoid. Staying silent when reaction is tempting. But these moments seem insignificant, but they shape character. Over time, they harden the mind gently and steadily. Comfort dulls awareness. It makes you careless and dependent. Discomfort sharpens attention. It makes you capable and alert. This is why those who seek growth willingly step into difficulty. Discomfort also teaches gratitude. When you have endured hardship, simple things regain value. Rest becomes meaningful. Peace becomes earned. You stop taking ease for granted. Morning is the best time to choose discomfort. Before excuses grow loud, you set the standard. Our one difficult choice early strengthens the rest of the day. Momentum builds from that decision. A life will bring discomfort whether you choose it or not. The difference lies in preparation. Chosen discomfort builds you. Our unchosen discomfort breaks those who are unprepared. By training yourself daily, you reduce fear of difficulty. Strength is not loud. It does not announce itself. It is built quietly through repeated exposure to discomfort. Each time you stay instead of escape, push instead of avoid, endure instead of complain, you grow stronger without noticing. Over time, what once felt heavy becomes manageable. What once felt impossible becomes routine. This is how strength is forged, not through comfort or ease, but through daily acceptance of discomfort as a necessary companion on the path to self-mastery, resilience, and inner stability. Your time is limited, and this truth should sharpen how you live, not frighten you. Every morning you wake up with less time than yesterday. This is not meant to create panic, but clarity. When time is seen as endless, it is wasted easily. When time is understood as finite, every action begins to matter. Most people live as if tomorrow is guaranteed. They delay difficult conversations. They postpone important work. They tolerate lives they do not respect. This happens because they forget the cost of delay. Time does not pause. It does not negotiate. It moves forward quietly while people hesitate. Acting with honor means choosing what is right over what is easy. It means behaving in a way that you would respect even if no one ever praised you for it. Honor is not about reputation. It is about alignment between your values and your actions. When time is limited, living out of alignment becomes unbearable. Each day presents choices that seem small. Whether to speak truth or remain silent. Whether to work with care or cut corners. Whether to act with discipline or give in to comfort. These choices shape your character. Time reveals who you are through repetition, not intention. Knowing that time is limited removes tolerance for meaningless conflict. You stop arguing to win and start choosing peace. You stop proving yourself to people who do not matter. You stop chasing validation and start building substance. Honor simplifies decisions because it provides a clear standard. Acting with honor also means accepting responsibility for your actions. Blame wastes time. Excuses delay growth. When you own your mistakes, you correct them faster. When you avoid responsibility, problems linger. Time rewards those who respond honestly to their failures. Mortality gives weight to effort. Work done with care becomes meaningful. A word spoken with intention becomes powerful. Even rest becomes deeper when it is earned. You stop drifting through the day and start moving deliberately. Honor shows itself most clearly under pressure. When no one is watching, when shortcuts are available, when dishonesty would be easier, these moments reveal who you truly are. Time will bring these moments again and again. Each time, you are shaping the person you are becoming. Acting with honor does not mean seeking perfection. It means striving to do better than yesterday. It means correcting your path when you notice you have drifted. Progress matters more than image. Time also teaches humility. You realize how little control you have over outcomes. This realization shifts focus toward effort and intention. You do your part fully and release the rest. Honor lives in effort, not in guarantees. Morning is the best time to remember this truth. Before distractions arrive, remind yourself that today is a complete unit of life. How you live it matters. How you treat others matters. How you treat yourself matters. When you act with honor, regret has less space to grow. Even when outcomes are unfavorable, you can stand by your conduct. This inner peace is rare and valuable. Living with awareness of limited time also strengthens courage. Our fear loses power when you realize delay costs more than failure. You speak when it matters. You try when it counts. You stop hiding behind comfort. The world encourages distraction, indulgence, and avoidance. Honor resists these pressures quietly. It does not seek attention. It simply does what must be done. Each day you are given a small portion of life. How you use it defines you. Waste it on resentment, and it is gone forever. Invest it in discipline, integrity, and meaningful effort, and it shapes something lasting. You cannot extend time, but you can deepen it. By acting with honor, you give each day weight and direction. You move through life with clarity instead of confusion, purpose instead of drift, self-respect instead of regret. Our understanding that limited time is not a curse, but a call to live deliberately, to act cleanly, and to carry yourself in a way that would still feel right even at the very end. Become reliable to yourself first. This is the foundation of all strength. Before seeking trust from others, before expecting loyalty, before demanding respect, you must prove to yourself that you are dependable. The world rewards consistency, but consistency begins within. If you fail yourself, you fail everything else. Every morning, remind yourself that your word to yourself carries the greatest weight. Reliability is built through small, repeated actions. It is waking up when the mind wants to linger in bed. It is completing tasks even when no one notices. It is choosing effort over ease, discipline over distraction. Each small decision to act builds the muscle of trust in yourself. Over time, these small actions compound into character. The mind often deceives you. It says, "Tomorrow is enough," or "This one time will not matter." Every compromise weakens reliability. Every delay chips away at your self-respect. When you consistently honor your commitments to yourself, the mind learns that excuses are powerless. You stop needing external approval because you know you can be counted on. Reliability is tested by discomfort and challenge. It is easy to keep promises when life is smooth, when motivation is high, and when conditions are favorable. True reliability shows itself when conditions are difficult, when the mind protests, when no one is watching. These moments define who you are. Each decision to act despite resistance strengthens inner trust. The world is unpredictable, and people often fail. Relying solely on others is fragile. Friends, colleagues, and even family may disappoint. Or if your stability depends on them, your foundation will crumble. By becoming reliable to yourself first, you create a secure base from which all other relationships can be stronger and healthier. You no longer seek validation. You no longer react to inconsistency with frustration. You move with quiet confidence. Being reliable requires honesty with yourself. You must recognize your weaknesses without hiding from them. Admit when you are tempted to avoid effort, when you are distracted, when you are careless. Only through acknowledgement can you correct behavior. Reliability is not perfection. It is consistent effort, even when the mind or body resists. Discipline and reliability are intertwined. Discipline ensures that actions happen regardless of mood. Our reliability ensures that the promises you make to yourself are kept. Together, they form a mind that is steady and capable, a mind that does not bend under pressure. People notice this quality, even if quietly. Others are drawn to those who can be counted on, but more importantly, you gain the freedom of self-sufficiency. Reliability also protects you from regret. When the day ends, the tasks you chose to complete and the commitments you honored leave a sense of satisfaction. You do not waste energy wishing you had done differently. You do not carry the weight of excuses and procrastination. You rest with integrity. Every morning, recommit to yourself. Decide what you will do, and then do it. Follow through on your word before responding to the demands of others. Your reliability becomes the standard by which all other actions are measured. It is a quiet force, shaping habits, shaping character, shaping destiny. Reliability trains patience. Results rarely appear instantly, but consistent action accumulates, building strength, skill, and trust in yourself. You learn that long-term effort is more powerful than short-term bursts. You learn to value consistency over emotion, a principle over desire. By becoming reliable to yourself first, you become immune to the chaos of the world. Disappointment from others does not derail you. Pressure does not break you. Uncertainty does not paralyze you. You move forward, because you have already proven you can act when no one else will. Because you have learned to honor your word. Because you have built a foundation that is unshakable. Because you understand that true strength comes from inner dependability, not external validation, and that when you master reliability to yourself, every other challenge becomes manageable.